What's up, best designers? Welcome to the new versus pro design series. Here we break down the difference between amateur design and professional design. And spoiler, it's not about the tools, the budget, and it's not even about how talented the designer is. The real secret is understanding some key design principles as well as avoiding some common mistakes junior designers tend to make. By the end of this video, you'll know how to create professional looking design yourself. So I've imported the design here using website to Figma plugin. We're gonna take the design, analyze it section by section, and improve it as we go. So first thing that stands out to me is there's a lot of clutter in this hero section, pretty much as my room right now. We have headline here, description, we have 3 bullet points as well as some form with some logos. Let's keep it essentials because people online don't like to read a lot, especially I don't like to read a lot. So let's just keep the headline, short description, and an input for enter your postcode. So let's start by creating our board for desktop, and what I usually like to do before I start any design project, I just look for references that I like. For example, I like this one and I'm going to bring it over to Figma. So just if I like some headline or description style, I can just copy it. If I like the button, I can just copy it, don't have to reinvent the wheel. So once I brought it to Figma, I'm just going to copy the navbar. I like it. And I like the photo on this version as well, so I'm gonna just copy it and place it in the background. So let's make the background color darker so the text will be more readable, as well as renaming the navigation titles. We'll have a feature section, testimonial sections, we'll have benefits and frequently asked questions. Make it auto layout, and so it basically does the same spacing between them. So whenever I do redesigns, I usually not just copy the text that the client give me. Usually it's bad text, so you have to make it nice and sweet, something like change lives with kindness that people would like to read and will not skip it. For the description, it's also very large, so I'm gonna make the description shorter. Finally, for your section, let's create the nice form. Instead of having this big form, let's have an input where it says enter your postcode and a button to submit. I like this review thing that they have at the bottom. It builds the trust with users, so I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna put it at the bottom here, but make it more minimalistic. So here's the redesign of the hero section. Next section we have features. So the features here take about 30% of the page, which is a lot for this small section. And below we have a photo which is not really readable. The text is hard to read because the photo is very bright. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to separate the photo from the text and move the feature under the photo so it takes less space and users are more likely to read it. Let's copy the button, make it a bit darker, and add some icon to it. Let's put the picture on the left side, and we have this section almost finished. So now this section is super clean and readable. Let's just take the features and move it under this section. Let's improve this section a bit. Instead of having an icon, let's put a rectangle and have a small icon inside of it, which would look really minimalistic and really clean. Also, we'll make the text black. Let's duplicate it 4 times and change the text and the icons. So here we have improvement of our feature section. Next up, we have the process section. So what I would like to change first is move the testimonials under it. And instead of having checkboxes here, we'll have a step process. So step 1, step 2, step 3, which would make more sense here. So let's add nice transition. So the whole website would not be just white. We'll add a rectangle, duplicate it 3 times and change the color slightly. So now we can just copy the text and rearrange it as we need. Let's change the text. Now let's create the steps. Let's create a rectangle, add some shadow. And copy the text, place it in here. Change the numbers. And we have the process. Now we're just gonna duplicate it 3 times and the process section is ready. Now to make it look way better, let's just add picture, and this really makes a difference. So here is the redesign section of how it works. Next we have what you'll need for this job section, and it is extremely dull. It doesn't stand out really much. When users are gonna scroll, they're gonna see it's all similar and they get bored and they just not read the text, which would lead to decreased conversion. So I'm gonna redo this section completely, make it way interesting, add some nice graphic to it, make it more colorful. Let's start out by creating a big rectangle and duplicate it 3 times to create this nice effect. Let's add some pictures of human here. Let's copy the text and write the headline here. Next, instead of having just 3 bullet points, let's make it interesting. I'm going to copy what we already created, change a little bit the color for nicer contrast, and just gonna duplicate it 3 times and change the copy as well. And since this company operates in the UK, let's just add a flag in the bottom and add some description to it, nice detail to make it pop up even more. And here we have this redesign section of what you'll need. Next we'll have the most important section of any website is this testimonials, because it creates trust, it builds credibility, and it's pretty easy to add to any website. It just requires a bit of photos, maybe you can add some description, maybe it's just a 1 sentence. So let's add our photo here. Let's add a comment here and let's add a star, duplicate it 5 times, and here we have a minimalistic testimonial sections. Now we're just duplicated 3 times as always and we have this section ready. So here's the redesign section of testimonials. For the frequently asked questions, I don't think photo makes sense here that much, so I'm just gonna not add that. Let's just add short question, arrow and underline and just copy it a few times. Next is my favorite section of this whole website, not the way it looks right now, but the way it's gonna look after I work on it. So let's just start redesigning and transforming this section. Let's just copy the rectangle for best contrast, the big headline, add some pictures of the photos here. Also let's add a button here, obviously no CTA would be a CTA without a button. And let's copy the testimonial section from the hero section. Lastly, since this is the UK company, let's add a small map of the UK there, which would be a great detail and make the section even more better. And here we have the redesigned version of this CTA. By following these simple tips and steps, you can transform your amateur design into professional ones. Thanks for watching and don't forget to subscribe.